not sure what it means, but this photo of us, it don't have a price. Ready for those flashing lights, 'cause you know that, baby, I'm your biggest fan. I'll follow you until you love me. Paparazzi.
Thank you for joining us for this segment of Celeb Locale. This segment is inspired by what I call the actor that hustles. And when I think of that, I think of maybe about 2-3 people. And one of those people would be Stephen Hill, who's my guest.
All right.
He's always working, always. And I'm sure you want to know, because I definitely want to know how he does it.
I went to Hampton University, and I used to model. This was maybe about 50, 60 pounds ago, but you know, I used to model for a company called RP55, which is now Azure Denim and Indigo Red, and I think they're about to change their name again. But I was doing a bunch of fashion shows, and I went to see another friend of mine at school named Lauren Clifford, and she was doing A Midsummer's Night's Dream at Hampton, and I was like really wowed by the fact that this was a friend of mine, and I could see her on stage just being this completely different person from what I knew, you know. And when I came back to New York after graduation, I was doing the modeling thing for a while, and it kind of just wasn't really fulfilling. And a friend of mine told me, you know, maybe you should take some classes with Susan Batson. Her name was Kendra Reevy. She said, you know, it's a school called Black Nexus, and, you know, it's supposed to be really good. I was like, all right, and I found Black Nexus, and I've been pretty much taking classes there for the last 7 years now.
Recently, you were seen, I think, in 3 films at Urbanworld. Is it 3 or 4?
Three.
3.
3.
So tell me a little bit briefly about those, and how did you book those gigs?
Okay. I like to work with NYU students, or just students of filmmaking. One, because they have to get their films done, you know, so it's not like you're shooting with an independent filmmaker where you may not see your film for 3-4 years.
Yeah.
You know, I have a couple of films out there I haven't seen, and I shot them 7 years ago when I first started acting, you know. But they have to get their films done, so I work with a lot of student filmmakers. And when you work with one, they're all on the same set with each other. So the guy that's doing craft services or sound today is shooting his film tomorrow. So if you do your thing on one film, they're all pretty much grabbing from the same headshots.
And be very kind to everyone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because you don't know who that person is.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
was there ever a role that you wanted really bad and you thought you were perfect for it, but you didn't get it?
Quite a few. I would say really like 3, but I'll give you 2. Because one, I'm still kind of hoping that something's gonna happen there. But one was American Gangster. I got beat out by Idris Elba, you know.
Wow.
But I auditioned the first time around, and then the film went away, and then, you know, they picked it up again, and they did it with a different director. Didn't work out the first time with Antoine Fuqua for some reason, you know. But the same time around, I didn't even get the audition. So that's kind of how it goes. And then the other film is for the Express. Yeah.
Definitely see you in that.
Yeah, Susan was working with Rob Brown. And at the time, I was just interning at Black Nexus, and she was like, you know, they're sending this kid named Rob Brown for me to work with him, and I'd like for you to read with us. So I said, all right, cool. And she was like, you know, I want you to really give him something to play off of. Don't just read the lines. I said, all right. So I just gave it to him. I threw it at him,
Right.
you know, and then they called me in from his tape to audition for, not for his role, but for a couple of other roles. And I auditioned for the role of his roommate. I auditioned for the role of Jim Brown, you know, and they were like, Jim Brown's for you, you know. So I came in, auditioned 3 times for that film. And on the way out, the director was like, yeah, you know, I'll see you on set. And I'm like, all right, cool, let's go here, you know. And then they ended up giving the role to Darren Henson. So it's cool. Ain't no lie, baby, bye, bye, bye. It's okay.
What is your process? Once you book the job, working on the role, like what's your process? What you start with, how you do it?
It's once you book the job, it's just, I mean, it all depends on the role. Like, you know, there's some things that are closer to who you are as a person, and then there's things that are completely opposite of who you are. You know,
how do you make that connection when it's opposite?
Well, I feel like we all have the same emotions as human beings. We all share the same emotions. So even if a guy is like a really, really evil person or a really, really nice guy, like that emotional life resides within you somewhere. And you just have to find the parallel, you know, to give to share with the character. So, you know, you can never become someone else. So when you're acting out this character, it's still you. You know, when you hear people say, you know, I love acting because I get to be other people and I get to be somebody else, like, it's impossible. You can't be somebody else. You can only be yourself. So I would say, for instance, Jackie Robinson. I played Jackie Robinson for a documentary that should be coming out in February. He's very different from who I am, you know.
What is it going to be on?
I want to say, actually, they're working on which network is going to pick it up, so I'm not 100% sure, but they're shooting for Black History Month, which makes sense, obviously. But from his voice to even some of the things that, you know, he believed in, I didn't necessarily, you know, I wouldn't have agreed with him, you know, but...
Before we go, actually, what else is up for you? You know, you got the Jackie Robinson story. That's going to be in February. And what else?
Papa's Pain and the Kids He Loves to Hate, starring myself, Alfred Rutherford. We are Jerome Preston Bates as well. Directed by Derek Anthony. That film's been getting a lot of buzz. We were at ABFF, so it will be on HBO for Black History Month on demand. So,
y'all better look for it.
Yeah, definitely. So Papa's Pain and the Kids He Loves to Hate. It will also be right around the corner from here at the Tribeca Cinemas for the Big Apple Film Festival.
Nice.
And for those people in Chicago, it is at the Chicago International Film Festival.
Thank you so much, Stephen, for being here.
I do have a website.
Tell me what it is.
My brand is I Act New York.
Okay.
Which, you know, we have the book club.
Which is a book club in New York.
Yeah. So, but the website is www.iactny.com. And you can go on the website and you can see my reel. There'll be a link to a blog. I haven't actually started yet, and then you'll be able to buy T-shirts and so on and so forth as well.
And that's how we can keep in contact with you and find out what's going on with you.
Exactly.
That's what's up.
All right.
Yay.
Thank you for having me.
It was a pleasure. I learned a lot.
I hope I didn't bore the hell out of everybody, but it's all good.
Well, we'll see when I see how many views I get.
Yeah, we shall figure that out.
Well, it's a wrap for this segment of Celeb Locale. Thank you so much for joining me and finding a little bit more about Mr. Stephen Hill.
All right.
Check us out next time.
Ready for those flies.